Okay guys, and welcome back to America 737 project. We're doing the second video on this series where we're doing the whole flight planning, FMS setup, and now we're doing the FMS setup with the cold and dark. And on the third video, we're gonna have the actual fly itself. So let's jump right in, guys. If you didn't check the first video, I'll put the link down below in the description, and we'll probably have it here on the screen as well. But back to business. On the first video, we did the whole flight planning. We're going to be going from St. Pete Clearwater. We're sitting on gate number 2, and we're heading down to Key West International Airport. So we're in a cold and dark setup, and we are gonna power up the aircraft, get started, and line up our IRS, and set up the FMS, get the aircraft ready to go. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and jump into our overhead panel. We see that we've got ground power available. We are in the aircraft, and we want to make sure people can see us and the aircraft it's ready. So the first thing we're going to be doing once we get power is going to be to get our navigation lights on that will light up on our plane on both wingtips. Okay, so before we do anything, first thing that we gotta check, it's we're gonna come here and make sure that the landing gear selector it's in the down position. Now we're gonna go back here and we're gonna close our battery switch. So now the plane is running on battery. Standby power, we're gonna guard that one too. And we're gonna guard the emergency lights. Okay, so we can confirm. Once again, gear down, 3 greens here. And we go to the aft overhead. We've got 3 greens as well. So let's go ahead and switch to ground power. Okay, that way we're not killing our battery anymore. Okay, ground power. And we're gonna go ahead and turn our position or naff light into the steady mode. It's daytime, so we're not gonna use the logo light, and that's all we need for now. Okay, so we're gonna go to the aft overhead, turn on our IRS to naff, and we're gonna turn the switch here. That way we know how many minutes we've got pending. So 8 minutes before alignment is complete, and we get both align lights on. Okay, so we're now gonna go to our flight computer FMS. It's telling us to enter the IRS position. And we're gonna go to next page. We go to previous page and we set IRS position. Okay, so before we continue, I'm gonna go again back to this page here. If we go to FMC, we're on a model 737-800 with winglet, ARAC 1805. It's loaded onto the aircraft, and actually on the aircraft it's saying that it's valid through May 28th. So for some reason on the scene brief page it's saying that that's going to change May 23rd, but for the aircraft is valid up until May 28th. So that's a good thing. It means we're going to be covered no matter what. So let's go back to position initialization, and our reference airport, we are on St. Pete Clearwater Pi, and this is gate number 2. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and copy Pi into our clipboard here. We go to route, and we're gonna paste Pi here, and our destination Key West International, and we'll set it up right here. Okay, so now what I was saying before, when we save that route into the aircraft, or we load it into the system for our flight computer to have it. Now we can enter the company route. So we save it as pi to Key West. So Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey number 1. There you go. And if it takes it here, it will give us the option to activate. That means that we entered the proper number. We're gonna go ahead and activate that, execute, and this is gonna be flight Sierra Yankee 824. Okay, and now we have the whole route loaded in here. Okay, so this part is gonna change because it's ending up in direct to the Key West VOR, but we're gonna go ahead and set up our departure and approach. So departure out of runway 18, and for our arrival, we're gonna do the our naff for runway 09. Active approach, our naff was 09, glide slope on, and we're gonna go ahead back to Lex. Make sure we do not have any discontinuity issues. And we have one right here from the VOR to Utna. And when I was looking at the flight plan on ForeFlight between Sting and Utna, we had sheds, and instead of flying to the VOR, which will take us a little bit off route, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move Utna up here. Okay, and then we're gonna type in intersection Charlie Hotel Echo Tango Sierra, and we're gonna change that here, and then we're gonna put now up here, and now we got rid of the VOR because that's not part of the RNAV procedure for runway 09. So we're gonna go ahead and execute. There you go. So we've got 1500 here at this point, and if we go back, it doesn't look like we're gonna have our altitude set up just yet. Let's go ahead and set up our initial reference gate 2 here again. Route is set up. So our plant fuel we set. Let me go back to our paperwork. That was let's run it up to 12.2, and actually I'm sorry, 11.7. That's what we're expecting to have as our main fuel, and it's on 25.1 right now. So I'm gonna go back to the menu and change our load so it matches our flight release. So payload, let me go back to the payload page. There you go. So payload was 25.3. That is correct. Zero fuel right now is on 116.6. We are looking to have about 117.2, and takeoff weight, we need that down to about 129. So let me see what it is that we're not having correct, which is in this case the fuel, 25.1, and we said we were gonna load 12.2. So let's go ahead and change our fuel to 12.2. There you go. And that's going to bring our takeoff weight to 128.8. We had calculated just about 129, so we're fine with 128.8. 25.3 here. And zero fuel weight, 116.6 out of 117. So that's pretty close to what we wanted. So that should be just fine. So let's head back now. And while we're doing that, we can also check here what the status is. We've got forward entry open and aft service door open. That means we can let passengers in and bags and cargo on. In this case, we don't have any cargo, but bags. Let's go ahead and start the boarding process. There we go. Now we can hear people getting into the aircraft. Okay. And cost index is going to be 30. Our flight release is saying that we should be flying at 17,000. So we're going to put 170 here. So altitude 17,000. Go ahead and execute that. And let's go to N1 limit. And we want to get the outside air temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the right to the FO side FMC. And we're going to go to ACARS. Request 80s. And we are on Pi. Put that in here and send. And now we see VHF in progress. And the time. And again, we said we were looking at 16:35 departure Zulu time. Right now it's 15:53. So we're still looking good. We've got plenty of time to set up our flight. So that's going to help us with this tutorial. And we're going to be waiting here until we can get the current reported temperature on the 80s. Although we can look at 27 degrees here. But I'm just going to wait to confirm that. So we have the time here, 15:53 Zulu.
Guys, the Leo's on board.
Okay, wonderful. Let's go ahead and start with our checks here. So, leading edge devices. There we go. Stall warnings. Airspeed test. Perfect. Yo, dumper. And we're not gonna turn the APU just yet because we can run out of ground power. That way we're not just wasting fuel while we're here on the gate. And nothing else that we're gonna set up here. We just have to finish up with our FMC setup first. Today we're gonna be pilot flying on the left seat and pilot monitoring on the right seat. Although I'm really one crew man today. Okay guys, so now we see that the 80s is available, so we're gonna go ahead and read it. And you can see from 120 at 10, gusting 19. Visibility, it's okay. Clouds, okay. Temperature 29 showing up here. Okay. And we had 25 here. So we're gonna go let's go ahead and set it on 27 just to find out a median spot there. There you go. We're gonna use 24K D rate. We don't need to use full power today. We've got plenty of runway. And we're gonna do a flaps 5 takeoff. Let's set up our CG. Trim at 4.51, and we get our VREF. Let's go ahead and load them. And make sure the trim is at 4.5. Okay. So just around there. Okay, and let's see how far we are on the alignment process. Just about a minute. And we actually got some rain going on right now. And let's see. Yeah. Okay, well, our cargo door just closed, so we know that our ramp team is getting stuff done. Let's go ahead and start getting the APU ready. We're gonna turn the fuel pumps on our left side. That means fore and aft number 1 fuel pumps. And the APU, we're gonna run it out of that one. There's two basic ways we can turn the APU on, which really doesn't make much a difference for us. The way most of the engineer guys and maintenance guys will do it, they will turn the switch to on and keep it there until the self-test is completed and the door is open. That's when the low oil light will illuminate. Then at that point, it will click start, and it will the EGT will start racing right away. Or we can just hold it on start for about 3 to 5 seconds and then let it go back to on, and it's just gonna wait until that self-test is completed and the door is open anyway. So we're actually gonna do the first way. Just keep it in on there for a second. Once the self-test is completed and the APU door is open, we'll see a low oil pressure coming up. There you go. We click start, and we're gonna see the EGT start racing. There you go. Both ways are right. There's no right or wrong here. You can do either or. We can hear the APU motor in the background, and once it's stabilized, it will start the decreasing. Temperature will start decreasing once it's stabilized. We just gotta make sure that it's remaining below 800 degrees. Just about there. There you go. Light extinguished and EGT coming down, and it should stabilize somewhere between 380 to 450, 470 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and set up no smoking to on and belt to auto. Okay, an IPU, it's available now. Okay, and just about 450. Okay, so we're still loading passengers. We can see, okay, doors are still open. And IRS is aligned. We're gonna go ahead and turn on flight directors on. First on the pilot flying side, and second will be the pilot monitoring. And that's why you have the main light coming up. If you do it the other way around, then you would have the main light coming on here. Okay. Again, we had some weather nearby, but nothing too crazy. So not a big concern there. Let's go ahead and set up our initial altitude for climbing. Let's do up to 14, and then we'll update that in flight. We're gonna be doing runway 18. And should be 179 degrees if I'm not wrong for this runway. And we're gonna do usually here it depends on the airline. Some airlines will do just exactly V2 for your initial speed, or V2 plus 20 in some other ones. We're gonna actually set it up to about 180 knots. If we were to have engine failure on climb, we'll just maintain V2. Okay, and let's go back to our flight computer. So our V2 speed's 140. We just have to keep that in mind. Runway condition, let's go ahead and change that to wet, actually, and let's go back to page number 1, and we're gonna update our speeds. So V2 didn't change, VR didn't change, but our V1 changed to 121. That means our decision making is going to be happening a little bit earlier. Okay, 9,760 feet available for runway 18. Okay, so we have our departure and arrival set up. We already checked our legs for any discontinuity, and now that we have set up our flight plan properly and all cruise altitude, all the altitudes here populated, so we'll keep us at 17, 170 all the way through, and there you go. Let's go ahead and jump into our pushback setup. Let's pre-plan that. Okay, and that's our Sun Country plane right there. And as you can see, for this gate, I already have it pre-set up. So they're gonna push us straight back, and then they're gonna start turning the plane just like this until it reaches that position that we can see there already on green. So we're not gonna set up anything else. We're just gonna hit enter to accept.
The cockpit plan acknowledged. Call me to the menu when you're ready.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and let me just go real quick here over our pre-flight checklist. Parking brake set, battery switch guarded, electric hydraulic pumps, they're off, standby power guarded, bus transfer guarded, landing gear lever is down, engine APU and fire extinguishing system check. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Got 3 greens and 3 greens here, and let's go ahead and do a fault in up test and overheat test. Perfect. Let's check that item here. While we're here, we're gonna go ahead and do the test for the cargo fire detection. Perfect. Okay, position lights on steady. Engine bleed switches off. APU bleed switch on. Left fuel pump, we already have it on, and APU is started. Leading edge devices test is done. ARS is aligned. Mach airspeed warning is checked. Stall warning is checked. Equipment cooling in normal, and we're gonna go ahead and turn on the cabin utilities. Recirculation fans in auto. Air conditioning set. Emergency exit light arms. Cabin sign sets. Flaps lever up. I'm gonna go ahead and check that, and it is up here, and also indicating flaps up. Okay, pre-flight checklist completed. And we're gonna go to overhead and pedal star preparation. Flight deck preparation, it says here per SOP, which we have done. We've got our MCP set, flight director, altitude, runway heading set, speed set, auto throttle arm, that's going to be once we're pushing, and the remaining is going to be once we are pushing. Engine start levers are in the cutoff, checked. Stabilizer trim in normal, checked. Common radios, again, we're not going to simulate ADC today, so put that on checked. Rudder and aileron trim, we already set that to 4.5. Pre-briefing departure. So again, very simple. We're going to do a straight south departure today, and just keeping an eye on the weather, which is going to be, cells are going to be on the left side for our departure. Our V reference speed B2 140 knots today. Pre-selected speed, it's 180. We're gonna aim for 160 on the climb, and we'll transition to 180. In an engine fail, we'll go back to our 140, which is our V2 speed. Okay, so we're now on our before pushback checklist, which we're not gonna continue with that because that's gonna be for our second part of the video. So let's finish up our preparation. Again, we already have our inputs here on the FMC. So I'll just keep this one on legs, and for simplicity, we're gonna have our FO side on announcements. So we're gonna go ahead here, announcements, and let's go ahead and start with our welcome message for the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, from flight deck, we'd like to add a welcome board. Anticipate possibly some light bumps or some choppy air.
Doors open, as you can see.
As a precaution, keep our flight attendants seated for a few minutes. Make sure we know, what that ride's going to be like before they get up. Also appreciate it if everyone would remain in their seats during that time. Thanks for being with us today.
Okay. Okay, folks, so FMC is pretty much set up, cabin is prepared, so we're ready to close doors pretty much, and we're ready for that departure and pushback. So we're gonna go ahead and stop the video over here now, guys, and I hope you liked it. This was from all the way from cold and dark, setting up the flight computer, and setting the aircraft pretty much ready to go. So if you guys want to follow on, once again, continue to watch it on our third video. Actually, our third video is going to be the flight from here on, and this is all you guys were looking for. I hope you liked the video. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you can follow more videos. Later down the road, we're going to be actually recording this with our full-size cockpit that is still in the building process. So stay tuned for more update. Thank you, guys.